So the Texans are 2-0. You look across the media, whether it be on television or online, they're generally going to be ranked in the top fives. In some places, even higher. I think Colin Cowherd has them as, number two in his obviously well thought out power rankings. Very analytical driven, those power rankings, I'm sure. Well, another football nerd, or at least a football nerd, is Mina Kimes. Whatever you might think about the people on ESPN, she is one who certainly tries to inform herself to the best of her abilities on football. Loves talking about it and certainly wants to be right, at least informed about what she's saying. So this isn't a unique opinion that we're about to hear. She is one of several people who think Bobby Slowik is doing something to hamper the Texans' offense, and it has to do with his play calling on first down. Here's Mina Kimes before Monday Night Football discussing the Texans and Bobby Slowik's decisions between run and pass on first down.
I'm a fan of Bobby Slowik. I think he's a good play caller. I'm going to need him to stop lighting first down on fire, which is, I try not to be dogmatic about early down runs. Sometimes they make sense, pardon me, and there's a sequencing aspect to it. But going into this game, we talked about this last week. The Bears defense is excellent against the run. So it's not surprising they averaged 2.6 yards per carry on first down, and they ran it over and over and over. You're putting your quarterback behind way too much for my taste, which, by the way, this was an issue last year as well, and it continues to be an issue.
She and others did talk about this quite a bit last year. They wanted the Texans, as soon as they saw that C.J. Stroud was a player that he is, they wanted them to throw the ball more on first down. They think throwing the ball on first down with that type of quarterback helps your offense be more explosive. And they could be justified, at least the Texans, in saying in week one we should have run the ball. We were dominating the Colts on the ground, and that is something the Colts are going to have to take a look at, because the Packers, with an obvious deficiency at quarterback with Malik Willis starting, were able to run the ball on the Colts in the first half. Didn't put Malik Willis under a lot of pressure. So was that fool's gold for the Texans? If you look at what happened with the Bears, kind of felt like it. I don't think they're going to be the dominant run team that the Colts game made it look like they could be, but they should be better than what they were against the Colts. Against the Bears. A couple of their big runs were into rounds, and they count as rushing stats all the same, but that's not the traditional run game. Joe Mixon's biggest run of the day was one where he lined up in the slot and came across and took a handoff from CJ, and I think he went for like 16 yards or something. Biggest run of the day. As far as traditional under center handed off to the running back who's behind you, I think maybe Cam Akers had the longest run of the day. So it wasn't something they should have leaned into as much as they did on Sunday. And it's Bobby Slowik's thing. It probably is the one thing you can look at and say, you've got what some people believe is a top 5 quarterback, and in some cases even higher. Use him on first down more, particularly when your starting center isn't even available. Jared Patterson, we appreciate your efforts, your contributions.
Yes, but
I don't want to.
We are refreshing the injury report for when Juice Scruggs comes.
Yes, we'd like Juice Scruggs to be back, and we'd like, at least NFL media would like, for Bobby Slowik to throw the ball more on first down. And I would say yeah. I would agree. Use your best players. And while Joe Mixon had a great week one, he is not the guy I'm leaning on for this offense to be successful.
Yeah, I think Bobby Slowik, I think this offseason where he gets head coaching job interviews, where we talk a lot about all the weapons on this offense, and we throw in Bobby Slowik as part of the reason to feel excited about this offense. I do think that it kind of glosses over that for a lot of games last year, we were we would kind of run hot and cold on whether we liked what Bobby Slowik was doing on offense. Like that was a talking point during the 2023 season after games. And then it just kind of, Texans end up winning the division, being way more successful than anyone thought they would be this year. And rightfully so. He is a good offensive coordinator, but he's by no means some like perfect offensive coordinator where there's not some things or some issues that we had with how he calls games. And I think this is just a little bit of us kind of being reminded by some of the stuff, because last year they also did not have a good running game,
No.
and they still ran the ball on first down a lot.
It was almost, we need to be balanced for the sake of balance, and I
Yeah.
think that's part of the pushback on what he's doing. John looked it up, and he talked about it this morning, where the numbers were 15 runs on first down and 11 passes. Now, the passing, some of that had to do with I think the end of the first half, where they were throwing it on first down more, so it became more even. But even if you think that number is fine, why? If you're better passing the football, just pass the football. Just throw the ball more on first down.
Yeah.
Why? You don't need to be balanced just because. I don't believe that's a thing. You want to salt games away by running the football. Understood.
Yeah, but you don't need to be at 2nd and 8
No,
every time.
just because you want to have some balance. But if balance is putting you behind the chains and you need your quarterback to be great to make up for it, which he's capable of doing, maybe that's even Bobby Slowik's crutch, how great C.J. Stroud can be. I would ask, hey, take a little bit more, take something off his plate,
Yeah.
and let him be great on first down when it's an advantageous situation. So we'll see about that going forward. But it is something to look out for. Will the Texans continue, particularly if the Bears game is more what they're going to be like running the football traditionally as opposed to the Colts? Are they going to continue to say, hey, we got to get these first down runs in? It brings balance to an offense who may not need it. So that'll be something to look at going forward. We'll hear from D'Amico Ryans when we come back. He's not excuse me, he didn't pick an unlikely player for the reason they're 2-0. In fact, if you look at the games, this guy's been pretty clutch. But of all the people we could talk about before the year started, this is the one who's probably been their most, beyond CJ, influential player. And you maybe throw Nico in there too.